it's not over until it's over. How will you respond to a contested election outcome?
This election, to the best of our knowledge and understanding, is over. We have had a wonderful time. We have gone through the whole process. And in this election, like in all other elections, the outcome of the election is declared by the returning officer. It is not declared by the Commission. The same way all other elections of MCAs, of members of parliament, of governors, they are declared by the returning officer for that election. The returning officer for the presidential election is the chairman of the IEBC, Wafula Chebukati, in this case. And Wafula Chebukati has discharged his constitutional responsibility and declared the results of the presidential election. Any person with issues about this election, they know what to do. It will not be the first time. We are a democratic country. We have built robust institutions that can undertake the resolution of any issue if anybody has. Whatever person, whether they are the other commissioners or other Kenyans or my competitors, whatever issues they have, they know what to do.
Mr. President, I'm Frederick from NTV. Almost half the country voted for you. The other half did not vote for you. What are you going to do to the other half? Are we going to see a new handshake?
I think when you go to an election, the outcome is determined by the people of Kenya. In this case, the people of Kenya have voted for me as the 5th President of the Republic of Kenya, an honor I don't take for granted. Like in all other democracies, Kenya is not an exception. The people of Kenya have spoken, and we need to respect what the people of Kenya have said. My competitors have a role to play, just the same way I said in my statement this evening, that I will work with my competitors in the role that the Constitution assigns the people in the opposition. They will provide oversight over my government, and I intend to work with them in that capacity. I never believed in the handshake stories. I made my position very clear because I believe in democracy. I believe in a government that has checks and balances. When you have a government that does not have the opposition, you run the very high risk of having a government that is not accountable. Precisely what we have seen over the last 4 years, that we have had a situation where people who are supposed to be in the opposition are actually running matters in the executive. And that is why the people of Kenya voted for me and my team. They want a government that has checks and balances. And they want a government that is accountable. They do not want a mongrel of a government that nobody knows who is in the executive, who is in the opposition, who is doing what. I think the people of Kenya want clarity because we are Democrats. And for the record, in this election, just to answer what you have said, if you look at our TV screens, the celebration is across Kenya because I got 25% in 39 counties out of 47 counties. That tells you that our support base and the people who voted for us are across Kenya. So there will not be any part of Kenya that will be left behind in our administration. because we believe in an inclusive, democratic, progressive government. And that is what we intend to assemble.
Mr. President, have you had any conversation?
Relax, don't relax. I'm here. I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah. A quick one. You talked about the support that the president has given you in the last 10 years. Has he commented to you about your victory? And number two, what is going to be your immediate assignment now that you've been given that mandate?
I haven't talked to Uhuru Kenyatta, our outgoing president, but I am sure there will be a conversation because now I am the president-elect and there has to be a transition. And in that transition, I am sure there will be a discussion between the current president and myself, either at the transition committee situation, or I am sure that at some point this evening, maybe tomorrow, we will have a conversation. Again, as a Democrat, maybe I should disclose that this morning I called my competitor, the Honorable RAILA Odinga, and I had a discussion with him. And we agreed that whatever the outcome of this election, we should have a conversation. He had offered in his statement, his closing statement in Kasarani, that he would be available for a handshake, you remember? And I said that I'd be available for us to have a cup of tea because there are areas we can agree on moving the country forward in the context of those of us who will be running the executive. And I'm sure my competitor will take up his role and his team as the opposition, so that we can see how we can move the country forward.
The second question.
Let me listen to the lady. The lady first.
Thank you, sir. My name is Leila Mohammed from NTV.
Yes, Leila.
At the moment, we see celebrations, but we are also aware that in certain areas there are protests against your declaration of being the president-elect at this particular moment. How do you speak to the entire country in your vision of uniting the people who have a past of being disenfranchised?
As I have said, my support base and my team's support base is broad. We obtained 25% of the vote in 39 counties. That leaves only 8 counties. And even in those 8 counties, it's just that we didn't make it to 25%. It doesn't mean we didn't get any votes. So we have supporters across Kenya. I also want to state here and now that the administration, President Kenyatta and I established in 2013, we tried the best we could to serve all parts of the country equally. If you look at all the programs we ran, whether there were programs on rural electrification, whether there were programs on Tibet, whether there were programs on equipment for hospitals, whether there were programs on making sure that we spread infrastructure, we endeavored to reach every part of Kenya. That is our philosophy. As I have said, we believe in an inclusive government. And in any case, the people of Kenya have spoken very loudly in this election. And they have spoken against negative ethnicity. In fact, in this election, the people of Kenya have raised the bar on leadership of Kenya. The people of Kenya have voted for a plan as we christened it, or a manifesto, or an agenda for that matter. And if you had the discussion in the campaign, it was our issues versus our competitors' issues. And we intend to keep it that way. And for your information, if you looked at my position about 3 years ago, I actually made the declaration to the people of Kenya that this election, we are going to make it not about leaders, but about the people. Not about power sharing, but about empowerment. And not about positions for us as leaders, but about jobs for ordinary people. If you go back my tweet, I think in maybe 2019 or 2020, that was my position. And I am very proud that we have managed to elevate the contest in Kenya to the level of issues. And because we have elevated that conversation, it is my belief, my commitment, and my undertaking to the people of Kenya that we will have an all-inclusive government by way of representation and by way of making sure that we roll out our programs across Kenya.
President, you take over a government at a time when people are hungry. People are angry. The cost of living is high. We are coming from the COVID-19 pandemic. So what is your priority right now? What do you tell the many people who cannot put food on the table? What do you tell the young jobless people who queue to vote for you?
That's why I said in my acceptance speech that I am acutely aware of the situation where we are as a country. I am aware of the cost of living. I am aware of the situation with the young people of our country. And that is why I made those very pertinent issues part of my campaign and part of my platform and part of what we intend to do as an administration. These are issues that are dear to the people of Kenya. And that's also why I said we do not have the luxury of arguments left, right, and center. We intend to hit the ground running. I am preparing myself that on day one of swearing in as president, when I have the legal power to do things, I have lined up a couple of executive orders on what I intend to do to get the country moving and to get the situation in the country under control.
President, you, at this point, as you are elected president at this point, we recall the 2017 that the courts have precedence, despite the fact that you are saying it's over. In the spirit of democracy, should your competitor move to court, are you in any ruling that maybe around or repeat of elections, democratically, will you respect such a decision? Should it come your way at this point?
As I have said, I'm a Democrat. I believe in the rule of law. I respect all our institutions. That's why our team, as you observed in Bomas here, wanted to give the IEBC as an institution the opportunity to discharge their mandate. Our competitors, I don't know whether they share with us that kind of belief. But as a Democrat, we will respect, just the same way we have respected the wishes of the people of Kenya in this election, we will respect every other decision of any institution because